What up, everybody? Node Investor here. What's up, guys? Impromptu live stream tonight. Post Bitcoin gold fork. It's a big day in Bitcoin, and we're going to look at the charts, the alts. We're going to talk altcoins. Altcoins are having a nice little pop here to the upside, and come on, everybody, you guys knew that was going to happen. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to look at some charts. Let me pull up the chat box, see who we have with us here on the chats. Oh, man, we got a lot of folks starting to join this live stream here. We've got 200 plus viewers. Come on, everybody, hit that like button. Let's get everybody on the show here tonight. What do you buy? Everybody's asking me, what should I buy? Let's get on that. Boston in the house. Hey, so just so you guys know, I'm in Nashville this week, visiting some folks out here, and we have a special show today because I have here somebody with me who is a Bitcoin newbie. I think newbie is overstating it, honestly, because I'm talking to him about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. He's asking a lot of good questions. I said, you know what? Why don't you get on the show tonight and ask me those questions? Because you know, a lot of my audience, you guys are new, and some of you guys are probably asking some of those questions, and a lot of you guys are here, you know, long-time followers, and you guys are very ingrained with the technical analysis. So we've got a mixture here. Chattanooga in the house. All right. Tulum, Mexico.
What up, Tennessee?
Tennessee. So we got Mike here with us, and let's see, we got Vegas. Ooh, Edmonton Air Force. Hawaii, Holland. All right, London, Wyoming. You know, I've never been to Wyoming. That's pretty. Steak. New Zealand.
I've been to Cheyenne.
Cheyenne. So how long have you been in Nashville?
7 years.
7 years, Nashville. Nashville's a pretty place, guys. Beautiful time of the year right now, fall weather. And I'm going to be hitting up some meetups probably this week. I think there's a Bit Lunch. So if anybody is in Nashville and you are familiar with this Bit Lunch, I will probably be there tomorrow, most likely. Denver, we got the moon in the house. Someone from the moon here? Oh, yeah. All right. So if you're just joining, Node Investor here. We're going to look at some charts. We're going to talk Bitcoin, and we're going to look at some alts. You know, I had thought about doing this show live, doing the countdown, the BTG countdown, but I just couldn't, guys. No offense, but I was on my exchanges. I was looking at the charts, ready to pop some orders when these things started to move. So, we're live now. So if you're just joining, we got the chart of Bitcoin. I've got a Bitcoin newbie here, Mike, with me tonight, and he's going to be asking me some questions throughout the show. And you guys are going to have to help me answer some of those questions because, you know, I've been doing this for a little while, but I'm not going to convince myself that I'm an expert by any means. And so we'll do it. Hawaii in the hut. You know, I got a lot of folks out in New Zealand, Australia, on these live streams all the time, and that's awesome. I got to get out there sometime. All right. So before we get to it, let's take a quick look at the chart. So Bitcoin is having a little bit of a sell-off here. Clearly, everybody was holding for the fork, and you guys remember me saying in the last stream that honestly I was kind of just discounting this fork altogether as far as what I was going to do trade wise. I'm just going to keep looking at the charts because I'm not a big long-term believer in Bitcoin gold, and I'm not going to hold it. And you know, and I thought if the altcoins start to rally before the actual fork happens and I see some good trades, I'm going to go. I could care less about that stupid Bitcoin gold. If I want Bitcoin gold, I'll just buy when it hits the exchanges. But so that was my mentality going in, and sure enough, I mean, I had the Bitcoin gold tracker live going, and the altcoin started to rally, you know, 15, 20 minutes at least before the actual fork was official. So I think a lot of people said, let's just move out of Bitcoin. and pick up some of these very low altcoins right now. So here's Bitcoin Gold. Here's Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Gold, sorry. Here's Bitcoin, and this is the 1 hour chart we're looking at here. And you can see here in the last 3 hours, following this fork happening, selling off a little bit here, starting to hit the lower ends of this downside. So I'm thinking we're going to pause here, bounce. I don't think Bitcoin's going to just crash per se. And to be honest with you, we don't want Bitcoin to just crash. I think if it just pauses here a little bit, it's had a big run. Obviously, Bitcoin was the place to be in October. And now I'm hoping we see a nice little alt rally. Alts have just been crushed. If you guys have been hodling this whole way down, you felt the pain. I've been primarily Bitcoin the last few weeks. There was just nothing to be in. I mean, every trade I took in the alts were just smashed. And and you guys know me. I went on a little rant in the last video talking about Stratus. Don't hodl all the way to the bottom. Speaking of Stratus, looking pretty good. We'll take a look at that one. But right now, this is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. It's starting to put in. There's a little bit of a parallel channel. I think we're going to hit a little bit of a low point here and bounce in the next hour or two. The 10 EMA on the downside on the upside is probably going to be your resistance point. But if we see some bounces back into this 57, 5800 level, that may see a little bit of a pullback in the alts, maybe a good secondary entry point to get in if you have not made any changes yet. I know some of you guys have been 100% alt for a while and waiting for this. So we're definitely seeing some bid coming into the altcoins. And I'm going to start looking at some of those, some of the big names I'm watching right now before we get into the charts, if you guys are wondering. Neo, Ethereum, when we say go, ARC, what else? 10x had a little bit of a bid going right now. Game, just going off memory here. Ethereum, man, Ethereum, Litecoin. So there's a couple, some of the bigger names. Look at Strong. And what I've told you guys before, yeah, Basic Attention, 8x. Look at those. What I told you guys before is these alts that run out first, the big strong names, those are the ones that tend to be the leaders in the next rally. So that's what you want to be looking out for. So here's what I'm thinking. Bitcoin's going to bounce here. We're starting to see it. So maybe throughout this this stream here, we'll see this little bit of a green candle in the next hour, and we'll see how high that bounces. I don't want Bitcoin to crash. That just would not be good for the alts. We need to be a little more stable and then let the altcoins do their thing. Altcoins will drop again with SegWit 2x. I think so. I really do. I think this is going to be a good trade, but think about it. That's what, mid-November, a couple weeks away. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. So take advantage. We've already seen some 15, 20, 30% moves just in the last 2-3 hours. So there's some opportunities here to be made. So, okay, before we get going, Mike, what's on your mind? Any thoughts? Any questions? Is all of this making sense? Does this chart make any sense to you?
Not really. I don't know anything. So, by the way, Newbie, I don't know anything. I do know that he has a website where I could buy cryptocurrency 101.
Yeah, I'm not paying him.
That's just a little plug. But apparently I need to buy it because I don't know anything.
All right. So,
but my question is, all these terms you're throwing around, everybody seems excited and happy. So yeah. I want to get as excited and happy as you guys. So what is a fork and why is this so important?
Fork. Okay. So that's a good question. So fork is a software terminology term. So there's a fork in the software, meaning the code base is going to split at a certain point. And so Bitcoin, the blockchain, at a certain block number, the new code base was going to take effect. So anybody holding Bitcoin at that point in time, if you hold the private keys, meaning on your own wallet, not on an exchange, not every exchange was going to support the fork, but anybody owning Bitcoin at that point will have credit for this Bitcoin gold, right? So basically your 1 Bitcoin will equal 1 Bitcoin gold, because Bitcoin gold's history, the blockchain history, in theory should be identical to Bitcoin, right? Because the fork happened today. So the fork has happened, and now everybody is moving out of Bitcoin because there was not really any more incentive to hold it for that free coin, if you will. That's why everybody likes the fork. It's such a big deal because everybody thinks I'm getting this free coin, right? I have Bitcoin and I'm going to get this new coin that's going to be worth who knows what, but I'm going to get it. So we had a fork in August. August 1st was a fork, and they created this coin called Bitcoin Cash. So anybody who owned Bitcoin at that point was credited with Bitcoin Cash. And what's Bitcoin Cash out these days? $300, $400. So that was the whole incentive to hold it. But that one was a little bit more contentious because there was a split of the mining power in Bitcoin. This one's not causing that. This one's a whole other different mining hash algorithm. Let me see what Bitcoin Cash is at these days. So that's a fork. It's just a split in the software code, right? Basically a copy of the code, and it's going to start going its own direction here. Bitcoin Cash on the tracks. Let's see what we're doing. USD Tether. Bitcoin Cash is $321, right? So you can see this is, let me zoom out a little bit. This is a very young chart because it's only been around since the last fork in August, so you can see where it started. So when it forked, Bitcoin Cash traded as high as over $1,000 on the Bittrex, then it came all the way down to 170, and it's just been, you know, pretty much declining since what is that? September, August, late August, September.
See, this is where you start to lose me. Is what Bitcoin Cash was the difference between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin?
Yeah, so Bitcoin is the original, is the king, the granddaddy of cryptocurrencies. And guys, just so you know, Bitcoin, maybe not anymore, let's look, but Bitcoin by itself was worth more than every other cryptocurrency combined. Let that sink in. That was, look at this, Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin was 56%. It was at 60 earlier, so, or at 58, 59. So Bitcoin's the dominant one. Bitcoin Cash was a group of miners in the Bitcoin community that wanted to split off because of, without getting too technical, there was a scaling debate on how big the blocks in the blockchain were, how much data you can put on a block, and they were trying to solve it a different way. They created a new competitor to Bitcoin called Bitcoin Cash, but it's supposed to be the exact same protocol with some of those changes made, right? Bitcoin Gold, it's a whole different thing in terms of how they mine it. So it's not really a direct competitor to Bitcoin. At least I don't believe it is. In a couple of weeks, there's going to be SegWit 2x, which is a different change to the Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin protocol. And that one's going to be a little contentious because you're going to be possibly, there's going to be some competition between the Bitcoin and that one. So yeah, there you go. Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash. And you know, that's one of the things with these forks is it's going to get very confusing if we start having more of these forks. And there's an incentive to fork because even if your fork sucks, but your whole coin is worth $1 billion market cap, whoever creates that fork just created some money for themselves in theory, right? But yeah, it's definitely confusing for those that are new to the space. That's for sure. There is only one Bitcoin. So we'll look at Bitcoin, Bitfinex. Let me see what we're doing at here. All right, so let's, I'm going to cycle through some of the big ones that I've got. Yeah, let me see, Bitcoin. All right, so looking at the chart of Bitcoin here, I mentioned we're going to probably bounce a little bit on the hourly charts. How far down? I think it'll go. I'm lagging here a little bit. So we're starting to break below that 10 EMA. We've been riding up. Whoa, this is really lagging. There it goes. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Can we hold this line here and bounce a little bit? But I think the bounces are going to be short-lived because people are going to start moving into the altcoins. And so altcoins are everything else, basically. So there's Bitcoin and then there's everything else. And so let me go to this chart, this website here. So if you're new to Bitcoin, if you're new to cryptocurrencies, this is a very popular website called coinmarketcap.com. And they list basically all the coins. They list, you can see Bitcoin #1, the market cap, $94 billion, worth $5,600. Daily volume in the last 24 hours and circulating supply. There's 16.6 million Bitcoin out of the 21 million that will ever exist. #2 is Ethereum, $29 billion, and Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and then we go down the list. And the list is huge. There's 1,100, almost 1,200 cryptocurrencies out there. But in all fairness, once you get past the top 100, 150, those are tiny. I mean, they're almost negligible in terms of market cap. You can see down here. #200, $11 million. Look at this. #199 trades $5,000 a day. That's not a market. So you can go down the list and Somewhere down here is going to be Node Investor coin worth $1 million. Where is that? I'm kidding. There is no Node Investor coin. There is only the Bitcoin. So let's get to it. Let's start looking at some of these charts. Let's talk, see what's going on, see what's big, what's leading the pack here. So we talked Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum. All right, let's see here. Maybe I'm going to look at the chat here. Neo, Ethereum. What else we got? 8x. Yep. Mise. All right. XRP, Zcoin. All right, I'll get to some of these. Salt, 10x, Neo. We've got Evelyn in the house. Arc, Stellar. You guys think Stellar's going higher? Stellar Lumens. You don't think the news is out? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not convinced. Definitely looks strong, but I'm not convinced. All right, let's check it out. So we've got Ethereum first on my list. Not that window. All right. My system here is lagging, so you guys know I'm on travel. This is not my normal setup, so bear with me here. We'll get to this. We'll get through it all. BTG, we'll see what that's looking like here. I want to get to Ethereum first. It's lagging here pretty good.
You gotta update my blockchain on my internet connection.
Yeah, where's your blockchain at? All right, so let's look at Ethereum USD. So Ethereum USD went from about $280 here to it's now sitting around $300 in the last couple of hours. Versus Bitcoin, we've had a nice little rally in a lot of these alts. It's nice to see that little chart pop like that. So versus Bitcoin, I mean, once we started seeing these things pop, we are now up around 11% on Ethereum. That's not bad considering it's the #2 crypto, it's the biggest market cap. Those tend to not move as big because it's just takes a lot more dollars to move them to that point. So Ethereum's looking good. It's definitely one of my top choices right now. And look at where it's bouncing into, guys. It's bouncing right into that prior resistance we've seen here the last couple of days. I think we could probably head higher to about that 0.7 mark that we've been looking at that broke down from. So let's look here. So if we look at Ethereum, I'm thinking we can probably rally a little bit more. If we rally into that prior base that just broke down that descending triangle, that's going to put you at around, just shy of 0.07, so 0.066, 0.067. But that's another 22% from here. So we could see Ethereum go up a little bit more here. So not bad on Ethereum, definitely looking good. Let's look at Litecoin. Do Litecoin BTC here. So Litecoin started seeing a little bit of a bullish divergence here in the RSI over the last couple of weeks here on this double bottom that has been putting in. It rallied today, but bounced right into that 10 EMA. This one's always so hard. It always looks like it's about to go, and it just that broader inverted, big head and shoulders pattern is still in play, in my opinion. You can see where it's rallying into today. It's just hitting that resistance point that it broke down from here over the last week or so. That's going to be the level we're going to want to see it clear. We did clear it earlier today. It's selling off a little bit. I think it's just a pullback, so we'll see if we can get above that. And that's, got to get back above that 0.01 Satoshi level on Bitcoin. So that's what I'm looking at on Litecoin. But the volume's good. The volume's compelling. It's telling me that the buyers are stepping in, and a lot of these are showing that same pattern with the volume. So, but I like Litecoin here. It's not bad. I want to see it get above 0.01. Is it a fake pump? If anything in the last 2 weeks says so, then you very much better be wary of any pumps right now, because things have just been selling off. I don't think it is. I think the last couple of weeks have been fake pumps because everybody still wanted to buy Bitcoin, but I think we'll see a little bit of a rally here. Anything can happen in crypto land, as you guys know, but I think we'll see some rallying. All right, so let's look at Omise Go. Omise, man. This one's been down and out for a long time, and it's finally seeing some good life here. I'm liking the volume coming in on the downside here. This was down low, very oversold the last couple of weeks, but looking really nice here. Bouncing in, you know, everything's kind of had that nice little initial pop, bouncing into resistance. I think we're going to take a little pause. You know, if you look at the 1 hour charts, they're definitely a little overbought right now, so they should pause for a little bit. Up 15% off the lows here. Let's look at the 1 hour. That's the 4 hour chart. And so, yeah, you're going to see some pulling in here. But I think the pullbacks are going to be good secondary opportunities, in my opinion. So you can see this is Omisego. We had the nice little rally, and then the last couple of days has just been really quiet. So I was looking at this one all day today going, okay, this look post fork. We can bust above this line here. And sure enough, we saw that, and it went right through it in a matter of no time. And this was an hour, but if you zoom in, it was like right through that line. And we're pulling in a little bit, but I think that 10 EMA, that's what I like to look for on these pullbacks in the short-term charts, is look for that 10 EMA. It tends to pull back into that zone and could be offer secondary opportunity. And that's going to help relieve some of this near-term overbought. As you can see, the RSI is poking way, way up there into the 80s. Now it's pulling in, but look at that volume, guys. Just great buy action right there. That's some solid buy volume. So I'm looking at that. I like it. And Omisego is on Exodus. Yes, it is. And, assuming Shapeshift doesn't, quote unquote, temporarily make it unavailable like they like to, you can just Shapeshift it. You don't have to get on exchange. Just go that way. I'm a big fan of Exodus and Shapeshift, by the way. And anybody who's taken my course knows that because I talk about it. All right. Neo. Let's talk Neo. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite, but not favorite the last month. Oh, should I buy Litecoin or Ethereum? That's tough. I've got both. If I had to pick one right now, I'd go Ethereum personally. That's a tough one. All right, let's see. Neo had the nice pop. Look how quiet this got here the last day or so. This is the hourly charts you can see here in the last day. Was just stopped going down. Just said no more. And then look at the buy volume coming in today. Very nice buy volume. Good action coming in. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I think Neo is a hold. If you have not sold, if you're holding Neo, remember what I mentioned in the last one, that we were right at the lows for a long-term hold. I thought Neo was a great buy, even at that last call I did. Let me go to the Bittrex here. We got more history on the chart. But we were at multiple lows. And, I said they better hold because this is a key support level. And it held. And it held, and it's holding so far. So it's nice to see it bounce. We definitely want to see some follow-through. I think some of that follow-through is going to mean getting back above that, 0.059, 0.06 Satoshi. So that's 650 Satoshi level. That's going to be the level we want to see. That's going to be a solid confirmation that the low is in and that we want to go higher on Neo. Let me zoom in a little bit here. This is the 4-hour chart. So here's that point I was talking about here. This is going to be near-term resistance, but if we can get back above that, that's going to confirm that double bottom, and that's going to confirm that the low is in, and we should see a little bit more of a sustained rally on Neo. Most of the rallies that we've seen in the last couple of weeks have been pretty short-lived, but we bounced right into that here in the last hour. I think if we see a little pause, maybe a pullback, if we can slice higher, then I think it's go time. Let's see what else we got here. ARK. Everybody's talking ARK. All right. It's a little slow on my end here, guys. I apologize. So this is the 4-hour of ARK. Let's go to the 1-hour. Solid move up on ARK. Look at this. And just nice. Pulling in a little bit. Everything is, but I think we're seeing a little bit of a reaction, some profit taking. But when you see a move, especially if you're day trading these, that's a 23% move in 2 hours. There's definitely going to be some profit taking, especially since it's bouncing right into this resistance level. But it's looking good. Definitely one of the leaders, and I really like the volume on a lot of these names we're looking at here. The buy volume it's compelling. If this breakout holds, it's going to show you that it's going to be a good move. What we don't want to see is like one of these moves we saw back here where it looked like the bottom. The volume was there, but it just rallied and then just sold off. You know, you want to see this kind of move happening again. A little bit slow here, sorry. So you see those big spikes, but they were short-lived. And I think we have seen the bottom here personally. We've seen this kind of flatten out a little bit. RSI was starting to rise. Let's see what it looks like on the daily. This thing is really lagging today. Quantum, Ripple. You're holding some big bags of Ripple. We'll look at Ripple. All right, so what am I looking at here? This is still the 4-hour. Come on, let's refresh here. Zoom in a little bit. But yeah, look at that RSI on ARK. Has just been down at these lows for the last couple of weeks, just pretty much for all of October, right? That's why you can't just automatically buy when the RSI hits these oversold conditions. You'll get the bounces, so they're good for little trades. But a lot of times, if you're going to be more of an intermediate holder, you're going to want to see some confirmation. That means you won't get the exact bottom. That means you're not going to get the most bottom price, but that's okay, because if you're going to get a sustained rally like something like this, then you don't need to get the exact bottom, right? You can still capture a big part of the move. And at the end of the day, if you can capture, 80%, 60% of those moves, you can do very well. So let's see what else we're doing here. Why am I on CoinGee when Bittrex is on TradingView? Because I'm not just on Bittrex, guys. There's some Binance charts and some other stuff that I look at, but I'm on both. Check it out. I go CoinGee and TradingView. No big deal. It's just a little easier on the eyes, in my opinion, the way I have it set up here. So there's ARK. Lisk. What's Lisk doing these days? Man, Lisk. That daily chart of Lisk has been pretty bad. Is it finally done? Is it done? You guys holding Lisk? Anybody on Lisk right now? I like the volume, though. Let me see how big that volume is. Let me move this off the chart. Let's go here. Some good volume on some of these. Yeah, you can see that. So a lot of these are rallying right into this resistance point. So that's what I'd be looking for. If you're not in these now, or if you didn't get it on that initial pop, wait for a pullback on some of these to that 10 EMA, and then you can get it up there. Or if you want to be super conservative, you just wait till these break out officially. This is a nice little double bottom if it breaks out on the 1-hour chart or the 4-hour chart. At that point, you can see it rally. If we had a breakout here, I mean, and at this point, I mean, the daily charts on a lot of these are just, they're not there yet in terms of clean setups. But I think 1-hour and 4-hour charts are definitely starting to change trend, and potentially could offer some nice trades here if you're into that. Longer term holds, I think these are some good value picks right now on some of these names. Not all of them. I think you still got to be a little picky. The alt market is still not in full swing 100% yet, but I think we're getting there. So yeah, you can see this can be, if it rallies, just a straight technical move off a double bottom breakout here. You can see this rally that's going to give you another 22% or so. And look at that corresponds with this prior resistance point here. So that'd be a good profit taking area if you're going to be trading that type of thing.
So how does this compare to the last fork? Like, what trends are you looking at? Are you comparing the last fork at all, or is this just a whole new beast?
It's different in the sense that the last fork there was a lot of news and a lot of fear about what was going to happen with Bitcoin and how some of the miners were going to react and who was going to go which way. With this fork, you don't have that. But with this fork, similar to the last fork, a lot of the altcoins were in a little bit bear markets. They were all selling off leading into the fork. But going into the fork, you saw some altcoins rally before the fork, like Neo and Miseko and IOTA and some of those names. And Bitcoin actually broke out after the fork to new highs. Here, Bitcoin has been in new highs already, so it's a little bit different from that sense. we've had this huge rally in Bitcoin over the last month. I mean, Bitcoin hit a low of 3,000 in September 15th. And here we are, 6,000 just, a couple days ago. And so it's different from that sense, in the sense that they're not exactly the same, right? Bitcoin was coming off of a big sell-off. So were the alts. Right now, everything's been Bitcoin, and the alts have just been getting crushed over the last, 3 weeks or so. So that's, you have to look at it from that perspective. They're never going to be exactly the same. The market's in a different situation. But you always, after the fork, there's still this little bit of a rally as people move out of Bitcoin back into the altcoins. And so we're seeing some of that right now. So let's see, what else here? I'm going to go to some of these charts. Dash. So Dash, BTC. Dash is looking pretty good here. It's looking not bad. I was looking at Dash here. If you guys remember, there was this little bit of a symmetrical pattern I was putting in on the daily charts on the dollar. Let me go to the Bitfinex on this one here. But oh, I know. And it did poke below that a little bit. And we're starting to rally a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see if this one has some legs. But this has been oversold for some time now. But I was looking at this broader trend, and I was thinking it was going to hold. And if it broke below that 280, that was not going to be good. And it did, but now it's rallying right into that. And on the upside, there's this declining trend that we still need to break above, and we haven't yet. But we're really close. We're really close here. So I'm thinking we're going to see some potential rally and Dash if we can get above that here. And that's going to be, getting above 310, maybe 320. And still a little bit of ways from now. So there's a lot of room to rally before that happens. If we zoom in on that here, that's, it's still a good 12% above us or so. Let me zoom in a little bit on this chart. But there's Dash. I'm still keeping an eye on Dash. I like the way this chart's tightening up. I think we can see a nice rally, especially if it starts to rally above this downtrend that it's been in. If I can break that, you can see a pretty decent little rally in Dash. Looking good right now. I'd like to see a little bit more volume on the daily, but I think we'll see that by the end of tomorrow after the day plays itself out. On the 4-hour, definitely not as much volume as some of these other names. So maybe a little bit of a red flag on Dash right now. Let's look at another example. What was one that was popping, guys? Help me out here. 8X, I think, was popping pretty good here. Smaller name, of course, but let's see here. Yeah, that was looking pretty good. Nice volume on this one. Since busting out of this little base here, this one shot up quick. What is that? Wow, look at that. It was up 50+% in that first hour. That's a good sign of strength right there when you see something pop that high. It's pulling in right now, but look at the volume is a little bit low. It's definitely extended. If you guys want to pick this one up, I'd wait for it to pull back, but 56% in an hour. You guys better be keeping an eye on this one. Small cap name too, so these can really get going when the volume starts coming in. How big is this one? 62 million market cap, trades $8 million a day. Not bad. Had a nice little rally last month. Was as high as what was that? About 56,000 Satoshi, $2.45, $1.10 right now. So we're well off the highs. Could see a nice little rally on ADX. ADX. What is that? The ADX exchange. So not bad. Let's look at Quantum. And Quantum. So Quantum had a nice little trade the other day, but of course they faded that trade quick. Did anybody get to sell Quantum on that? Quantum, man, it was the announcement of it being added to the Korean exchange BitHome, and we had this nice little pop here and give us what, 20% in a half an hour or something, and then it was done. Look at that, 30% in no time, and man, did that rally fizzle out. So, Quantum's looking strong here, not as strong as some of the others. There's not a lot of volume, but I think we're going to see some selling into that rally, unfortunately. I think if Quantum starts to pump here, You can see some overhead resistance. You know, you see how far off it's come off here just today. This is definitely one to keep watching, though. I think down the lows for a longer term hold, I think it's good here. But yeah, it went up about 20%, so not bad. Still up about 16% from the low today. But you got to be leery with this one. And if you're on Exodus, this one still says temporarily unavailable. On Shapeshift, that is. You can hold it on Exodus and you can trade it, but you can't shift it. EOS. Let's see, EOS. Come on, guys, you know it's a scam. Everybody knows EOS is a scam. I'm kidding. It's not a scam. Maybe it's just not going to be a successful project like they said it would be. Or maybe it will, but the coin won't reflect it. This one's really pumping, though. Does anybody know when the EOS crowd sale officially ends? I know that's one of the things is they're just releasing more coins so much, and it's a lot of overhead. But yeah, this one's definitely charging up here. It's up about 10–11%. Not bad, but definitely not one of the leaders. You know, compared to 8X and some of the other ones, Neo, Omisego, right? They're up 15% plus. Stratus. So when is that? Next August? Is it still going that long? I thought it was going to be like Q1 or something. Man, if it's going to go till next August, I don't know if I'd be doing anything with EOS. It's just crazy that I'm going to release that much coin. Stratus. Let's see what we got on Stratus. You got $100 worth of coins. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna buy EOS, just, you know, if you want to speculate on it, yeah, just keep it small. Don't put 100% of your portfolio into it, that's for sure. But if you do, you might end up on top. Maybe. I doubt it. Let's see, Stratus. Stratus had a nice little pump, and what I was looking for here is Stratus was setting up a nice little double bottom. Let me zoom out a little bit here on the 4 hour. Might be able to see it a little bit better. But let me attempt to draw it here on this lagging chart. But you can see here the first bottom that I was looking at was here, you know, kind of putting it here with the breakout points right at, what is that, 63, 64K Satoshi level. You can see the second potential bottom was putting it in, hit that same point, rallied, undercut the first low, which is what you want to see, and seen some volume coming in on the right side here. So it's looking pretty good. If it breaks above, and this just happens to be resistance that's that we've seen hit multiple times. So if it can actually break above it, you can see a pretty decent rally. And just doing a straight technical target, you know, from the low of this bottom to the breakout points, I think that puts it at around 0.8 or 0.9 or something. Let me see here. But that's gonna equate to a good 30% plus rally on a double bottom. So as far as trading goes, if you're looking at that, that's what I'd be looking for, is a breakout here and a little potential rally into this good little 30% move. The thing with double bottoms is you want to wait for confirmation, because what tends to happen is they can not break out, but then they can become a inverted head and shoulder, put in a third low that's higher than the head, and then rally out at that point, and then that's your breakout point when it breaks out of the neckline. So that's why you want to always wait on those double bottoms, because if you buy it, it could just pull in, but then that could end up being an inverted head and shoulders and then break out, and that's an even stronger pattern, and then you can see a pretty good rally from there. So one to keep an eye on for sure. If you're holding Stratus, I definitely would be holding it still at this point. It's going to probably rally, in my opinion. So I think Stratus might be good for a trade. Longer term, you know, I'm just still not sure on this one. I know they're going to release some changes here, and they got some good stuff. And I think the team is great. The project's great. But we'll see. I think you just take it 1 week at a time with this one. But this buy volume here in the last couple of days, definitely looking good. So someone's accumulating the Stratus here at the lows. So I'd be keeping an eye on that. Will it ever get back to the $10, $11 mark that it was here in June? Eesh, that's a tall order. Let me see here. How far is that from this point? Get the Stratus this is just based on BTC. I know if it goes back to all-time high BTC, it's going to be much more than $10, $11, but just versus Bitcoin, that's a 600% move. That's a lot. But hey, even if you get half of that, man, it's one heck of a rally. All right, let's see here. What else do we got? I'm going to go through these comments. Man, you guys are active on the comments. So, guys, everybody, hit that like button. We've got 750 viewers today. We're talking charts, altcoins. The altcoin market is rallying post the Bitcoin gold fork. And I know none of you guys are excited about Bitcoin gold. You guys just wanted to buy Bitcoin because you wanted to get your free Bitcoin gold. Honestly, I doubt it. Knowing all of you guys, I know who you are. You guys have been holding these altcoins forever. You guys are the true hodlers, the advanced hodl technology here. Oh, Doge. Oh, we got the Doge clan in the house. Doge, everybody Doge. Jamie Dimon's in the house again. Let's look at 10x. 10x. Oh, I've got a guest on the line here today, guys. We've got a newbie. His name is Mike. He's sitting here. I'm in Nashville. We're just chilling out, talking. I said, you know what? Let's get on YouTube, and I'm going to talk cryptos. I'm going to talk charts. I'm going to talk all of these crazy names, and he's just looking at me like I'm crazy.
I'm just drinking espresso.
I'm just saying Stratus and 10x and Neo and Omise Go, and he's looking at me like, what are you guys talking about? So let me ask you some questions, Mike. You work, I would say, kind of in the technical field. Anybody in your industry talking Bitcoin, talking cryptocurrency?
No, and that's why I think it's pretty new, right? Like I've just been in the tech field, doing some entrepreneur stuff. You know, even people I follow, listen to, who look at trends like, I don't know, say Gary Vee, are starting to drop that term out there, and even they're like not 100%, but they're dropping these terms in Bitcoin. But the truth is, I've never heard of any of these other alt currencies, like ever. The only thing I've ever heard is like a trendy term is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I don't know what alt means or what any of this is. I'm only assuming just from Forex understandings is that Bitcoin is like the US dollar, if you will.
Right.
I don't know.
It's the reserve cryptocurrency. Yeah. Have you heard of so some of the bigger altcoins are like Ethereum, Litecoin? Have you heard of any of those?
Nope.
No. You know, and it's interesting because I follow some of those guys too, right? Mark Cuban and Tony Robbins and all these guys, and yeah, they've been talking Bitcoin here lately, and they're talking, man, this chart's lagging, and they're talking invest. Now that Mark Cuban was quick to call Bitcoin a bubble when it was at $1,000. Now it's at $6,000, and he's saying, you should probably invest 10% of your savings into Bitcoin. And he's investing in some of these ICOs and stuff. But it's just interesting because those guys do have big followings. And if some of the folks that follow them have never heard of Bitcoin before, people are going to start looking into it, right? They're going to start saying, what is this Bitcoin all about? And the interesting is everybody that's on this live stream right now, we're all interested in this stuff, right? The altcoins, the 10x, the Omise Goes, and some of these very innovative blockchain projects that are going to be changing the way we do business, changing the way we interact with each other, decentralizing so many services that are centralized today. And that's really the fascinating part of all of this, right? It's kind of like the internet in the early 90s. I mean, you look at the internet and everyone's like, why would I ever send my mail across the internet? Or why would I ever buy anything on the internet, right? And it just totally revolutionized the way we do things. And I think this technology we're looking at here is going to be that. And so some of these altcoins are those projects, those companies, those startups that are going to be doing those type of things, right? So for example, this one we're looking at right now, this is called Pay. It's the project is 10x. And what they do is they're going to provide a debit card that will allow you to spend your cryptocurrencies anywhere, right? Just like you're using a debit card. So you'll be able to do, point of sale stuff. You'll be able to go to Starbucks. You'll be able to go to, the store and rent a car, hit your Uber up with crypto. And so if you've got Litecoin or Ethereum or anything like that, you can just use it with this. And there's a few of these that are doing that, but that's just one example. And some of these other ones are platforms. So Ethereum is a platform for smart contracts and creating new tokens like 10x and all that. So that's where I think the opportunity lies. And I think Bitcoin is starting to hit the news a lot, and we're starting to see it on CNBC, and we're starting to see it in all that stuff. And I think Bitcoin is kind of the early one, right? People come into Bitcoin, but very quickly, everyone starts learning about all of this huge world that goes beyond Bitcoin, right? And there's a lot of them. And it's a lot of risk too. I mean, they come and go in some of these projects. So we're looking at 10x. So here's 10x. And I know a lot of you guys, I'm a big fan of the project, but 10x is going to be, an interesting project to see where it goes. But as far as the chart goes, we've been in a nice little decline since having that peak here. We've had a big pop to the upside and a little bit of a follow-through rally. It was a nice little swing trade for a couple of days, but then it just faded fast, and we've been in decline here. So certainly getting a little bit of a bid here. The volume here is very nice, very compelling off the lows. So I'm liking 10x here, guys. I know the chart looks bad, but I think the bottom is in, at least for the near term. On the 4-hour chart, we're starting to see some of this here, right above that 10 EMA, right into resistance, like a lot of these other ones right now. But if you're holding it, at this point, you might well hold on to it a little bit longer, see if this rally holds. I think we're starting to see a lot of the volume come back into the alts. On the daily chart, though, it's still not looking like one of the better ones for sure. It's still living below that declining 10 EMA. It's starting to poke above it right now. I'd like to see some volume, though, some big volume like this coming in before I commit any bigger capital to 10x at this point. For a trade, might be good just because it's so oversold, and I think it's due for a rally, and I think we'll see it in 10x. It's got a big following, guys. I know even if you're not a fan of the project, I think, of the token cards that are out there, 10x is probably my favorite. Monero. Let's see what Monero is talking about here.
So how much of Bitcoin is actually coming out, and like people are converting that to,
to the alts?
Or even to, like, out of the market completely?
How much of, how many people are cashing out of Bitcoin completely?
Yeah.
So that's a good question. So we're seeing right now, one way to measure that is if you look at the coin market cap here. And so at the very top here, this coin market cap chart shows that we're $168 billion. And what that means is the total cryptocurrency universe, if you will, the market cap for all of these coins adds up to $168 billion. And we were at a high of $179, $180 billion, in early September. And we've not been able to get above that. And so we're starting to see some institutional money coming in a little bit, but a lot of the money has come out of the alts and into Bitcoin, and that's what's kept this high. But if you look at the chart excluding Bitcoin, you can see it's nowhere near those highs, and it's really been lagging over the last couple of weeks. So, we were rallying up to about $80 billion market cap for the altcoins, but the high was here at 97, 98 billion. So we've got a long ways to go there. But the total market cap is still not at new highs. Someone was asking me earlier, is that a little bit of a double top? And if you zoom out, it certainly looks like one. It's a big double top here, but it's not as much of a peak versus, when you see a double top, you see a big peak and then a little rally and then another little peak, and then it really starts to fall down. We're kind of sitting at these highs, and I think we're going to see a breakout here potentially if some new money starts coming in to these altcoins. With Bitcoin hitting $6,000, the total Bitcoin market cap is going to be $100 billion. At that point, you're going to start to see a lot of institutional money coming in. There's talk of a Bitcoin ETF. And so for those of you that don't know what that means, that's an exchange traded fund. So that's basically a stock, if you will, a security that trades on the stock market that is backed by Bitcoin. So it holds Bitcoin. And so it's a way for the average stock investor, people holding IRAs, that sort of thing, to be able to buy into Bitcoin without having, make it part of the portfolio, mutual funds and all that, without having to actually come into the cryptocurrency markets and exchanges and buy Bitcoin directly.
Is that going to be good or bad?
I think long term it's going to be good. You're going to see more demand, and you got to remember the amount of money that's in the stock market and commodities markets and all that dwarfs the Bitcoin market. You know, we're looking at this market cap right now. We're saying, wow, that's 168, 170 billion dollars. Apple is worth many times more than that, one stock, right? And so the daily trading volume in stocks is just so much more than what we're seeing in the cryptocurrency markets. I mean, look at average, and they're big. They've really matured. I mean, $5.5 billion, 24-hour trading volume. That's huge.
So that means the market's still young there.
But longer term, I believe the market's still young. And if we start to see some exchange-traded funds coming online, we're going to start to see some derivatives markets. That's going to just add more.
So you tell me I got to get up in this market now. So,
you know,
that's what I'm hearing.
You got to be picky, I think. Bitcoin is, like I said, it's basically doubled, right? September 15th, Bitcoin hit $3,000. We hit 6,000 this weekend. And risk is higher. I mean, we're definitely due for a little bit of a pullback. But the question is, are we going to pull back into the altcoin markets and kind of just stay afloat? Or is money going to come out of the cryptocurrency market altogether and people are going to take profits and then go invest in something else? I don't think so. I think the cryptocurrency market is still very young. And in my opinion, it's the hottest market to be in right now. You know, the bigger gains are happening here in terms of versus stocks and versus other stuff. And the stock market's at all-time highs too, right? But I think cryptocurrencies are just an exciting new space. And it's crazy. And anybody who's viewing right now knows it's crazy because the market never sleeps. You know, with stocks, at least you get the weekends off. Cryptos, man, it's a 24/7 around the world markets all the time. And it's exciting. It's definitely exciting here. So Monero. So we're talking Monero here. Let's see. Man, this one's just been so oversold on the daily. I mean, look at that RSI hit 1920 here. I think it's definitely due for a pullback or for a rally here, but it's hitting that 10 declining 10 EMA. And you guys know me, I always watch that 10 EMA on these daily charts because that tends to be a little bit of a resistance point on these sell-offs. And look at that. I mean, it's just this point where the market rallies and just sells off, and we're right there now. Let's zoom in a little bit on the 4-hour chart. See how this looks. It's obviously it's poking above, so is everything else. Doesn't feel as strong as some of the other names though. Let me see. You've had 8% off the lows. On any other day, everybody would say 8% is not bad, but on a day where the other names are giving you 15, 20, 30%. Addicts gave you 50%. This is a laggard. So I like Monero longer term. I think there's going to be a demand for some of these privacy coins. But today, I don't know. I don't think it's ready yet. Let's see here. Let me zoom out again. I think you got to wait. You got to give some confirmation here. Make sure that these lows are the lows. Make sure it holds. And let's see if we can get at least above this point. More than likely, it will get above, but then you got to see if it retests the low or puts in a higher low, and then that may be your entry symbol, your entry signal at that point. Let's see what else we got here. Where's this Doge? Everybody likes this Doge. What's the exchange on this one, guys? See, that's how little I know about it. All right, you guys are gonna have to tell me what exchange the Doge is on. I thought it was high. This high BTC. But we'll talk Civic. We'll talk Pivx. Buy some Homise Go. District. You know, I was looking at District. Let's look at District. Polo. All right, we'll get back to it. It's on Polo. Definitely not gonna look at District on this one here. Yeah. Do I know anything about the Bitcoin Air ICO? I do not. You guys are gonna have to enlighten me on the Bitcoin Air ICO. Bitcoin Air? Really? Bitcoin Air? Something about that just Gold, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Air. All right, Stellar. All right, so we're looking at District here. So I had the nice little rally the last couple of days, been pausing a little bit back and forth, but man, I think this one's got legs still, guys. I think this one's looking pretty good. And it's coming off of a big ICO, has pulled back significantly from its ICO breakout, and kind of pausing here, putting a nice little base here at these lows, volumes coming in. Not bad. It's definitely been a good trade the last couple of days. I think I tweeted about it here, and then someone said, hey, collapsed right when you tweeted it. And it was a nice pullback. But it went up and gave you another trade, and then went up and gave you another trade, and was one of the few coins to really be trading over the last couple of days, and kind of pausing here a little bit. I think it's one to keep watching for sure, but I don't know. It's cycled, the money's kind of cycled out of this one near term. Big project though. District. So what would I do with this one? I mean, I don't know. This one's tough. This one's just so volatile. It's a good trade. I don't know if I'd hold it here. I mean, it's down at the lows for sure. 11%. What's it down on the market cap? $40 million market cap, trading $4.5 million a day, which is really, not a lot, but it's not bad for a $40 million market cap coin. And the thing with these coins is they can really get going. So if you zoom in here and look at this little bit of a base it's putting at the lows, that's good consolidation here. You're going to hit that initial pop, kind of pausing. Let me take off the market cap here, and let's just show price dollar-wise. So you can see it had a little pop up, and it's kind of putting this nice little base. If it starts to break above that 70, 80 cent mark, you're going to see a nice little rally in this one. It's definitely setting up. The volume's coming in. And if you're a believer in this one long term, this is definitely the place to look at it here. It's well off the highs. So if you like it, this is where you want to look at it, in my opinion. The bottom looks like it's in for sure on this one, but we'll see. We will see. Time will tell. How's Bitcoin doing? Let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's look at the charts here. I'm going to go to the trading view for those of you that like the brighter, whiter, lighter charts. Bitcoin, I'm kind of holding that line right now, but you can see any rallies that are just being sold into. I think it's due for a bounce, a little bit on the low end here. I think we're going to see a little bit of a bounce in Bitcoin, maybe up to 5,700 or so, 5,750, and that could create a little bit of a pullback in some of the altcoins and offer some pause or potential secondary entry. Look at 8X, though, just going. Civic. Here's the 1 hour chart of Civic. Let's see here. Not quite as strong as some of these other names. Oh, Civic. Yeah, this one's definitely been the laggard. I think any rallies are going to be sold into, in my opinion. Just there's a lot of people holding this one still. I'd like to see this one go flat for a while. I mean, it's just been in this decline, and any rallies have just been sold into. We can just pause and go flat sideways for at least a week, then that'd be nice. Kind of give you a little bit of a base. The problem with these, when they're just straight down and then straight up, typically those moves don't last, right? Nothing goes straight down and then just straight up and creates this sustained rally. You tend to see this straight down, and you might see that initial pop, maybe a slight pullback or a base at a higher point. And then that's really the entry point that I like to get into. I don't really like to try to guess the bottom, right? Because you can see these straight up moves and then maybe a little bit of a pause and then maybe a rally at that point or some sort of a base. That's my preference. Or nice little base, right around here at these lows and then a rally from there. Just makes the risk a little lower from that perspective. Let's go back to the other one here. What's the deal with this Doge? Polo. Remember when Poloniex was like, everybody was leaving Poloniex because they were scared? I'm not using them personally right now, but what's going on with these charts? Come on, guys. See, this is why I never talk Doge. This is why. Just, oh, moving on. Metal pivots. All right. Do I have a group? I do. I'm going to talk more about that, guys. I've been kept it very limited just because it's a little bit of a mentoring, training, Q&A. I like to, it's more than just signals, right? I'm not just posting buy, sell. It's very interactive. And because of that, I can't have like hundreds of people on there as much as I would love to, but it's just be a little overwhelming personally. So have mostly kept it limited to the course buyers at this point. And I tend to do that for a little while. I know some of you guys emailed me, and I will be opening it up to more people here in the next week. But it'll still be limited, and the priority will still be to the course buyers first. Appreciate everybody here. It's just, I think it'd be too much for me if I had a lot of people in there. EOS, we already talked EOS. What was I looking up? Pivots. Let me go to Trading View. Trading View is acting a lot nicer right now. So while I'm doing that, Mike, since I got you on the mic, what do you know about Bitcoin wallets?
It's funny you asked that, dude. It's like you read my mind. I was seriously about to just ask you, how do I open a wallet?
Well, how do you open a wallet?
Because I heard that term once.
Yeah, so we've got wallets. So that's a good question. So there's a lot of wallets out there, and
seriously, that's kind of creepy.
Most of them, yeah. They don't call me Node Investor for nothing. Nobody calls me Node Investor. You guys call me Node Investor. So anyway, wallets. So on my course, I talk about 3 wallets, and this is by no means the exhaustive list of wallets. Just some of the ones I like to use. Exodus is one. It's a good desktop wallet. You can download it for free.
Exodus?
Yep, exodus.io. Another one is jax.io, right? And that's a mobile. I use it mostly for mobile, but there's a desktop version as well. And then these are nice because they're multi-coin wallets, meaning it's more than just Bitcoin. You can hold Ethereum, Litecoin, Omisego, Quantum. Some of these names were thrown out there. And then there's...
So do you need multiple wallets?
You don't, but you'll find that most people have multiple wallets. We all kind of use a lot.
What's the rule of thumb if you had to invent one?
So the thing with wallets is security, right? You want something that's secure. And so like there's Coinbase, which is kind of a web-based app wallet, right? In a way, they're kind of a bank. Mm-hmm. So you're trusting them to hold your coins.
So I'm doing it right now as you
So you're on the Exodus website. Yeah, there you go. I see that. So download that. And what this does, it creates a wallet on your machine there, meaning the private keys, so the part that secures your Bitcoin or whatever other coins you're holding, mm-hmm. are stored on your computer. So your wallet is as safe as your computer is. If your computer gets hacked and somebody finds out your password to your wallet and all that, then they can transfer your coins. The most secure is the cold storage, the offline stuff, something that doesn't touch the internet, right? So they have like these hardware wallets, Trezors, or even like a paper wallet, where it could literally be a paper QR code, that's your Bitcoin address, and you can transfer Bitcoin to that paper wallet. It never touches the internet. It's not connected in any way, right? That's kind of the most secure cold storage wallet, because the keys, the private keys that secure your Bitcoin, are offline, right? Versus something that's like on your phone where it technically could be hacked. Somebody could access your coin.
So I could go to the store and like bust out my code. Be like, you guys take paper Bitcoin here?
Well, you have to import your private keys. A little more complex than that, which is why there's the appeal for some of the other wallets, because it makes it easier to do that, right? They generate the code on your phone. You can just transfer Bitcoin through the app. It's pretty easy. There you go, wallets. It's very technical, I know. It's a lot easier than it used to be, though. That's for sure.
So does that mean my coins only exist on my computer, or they've been replicated throughout the
keys?
blockchain?
The keys that prove the ownership to those coins are on your computer, but the coins, the actual Bitcoins and all that, right, they're on the blockchain, right? They exist out there in the public distributed ledger, because that's the whole point. Is it's a blockchain that everybody can verify and validate. It's the keys, right? So you technically don't hold Bitcoin in your Trezor offline or whatever, right? It's you hold the keys, the private keys offline, because that's the other side of the wallet, where it's like the PIN code, if you will, to your bank's in a way, passcode.
So which wallet would you recommend? So just Exodus?
So you've got Exodus. I see you just downloaded that. I like that one. It's a good multi-coin wallet. You can't buy Bitcoin from this wallet, but there's another one, like there's Coinbase is probably one of the most popular on-ramps to the Bitcoin world, where you can buy it.
So you can just hold Bitcoin here.
You can send, receive, and you can exchange it. So if you go to this exchange here, you can see it. And you can switch from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Litecoin to some of those other ones, without having to actually go to an exchange like Bittrex or Bitfinex or anything. So there you go. Offshoots. So we were talking wallets while everyone's staring at this PIVX chart, wondering what's happening with PIVX. So what are we looking at here? PIVX BTC. This is the daily chart, and actually looking pretty good, guys. I'm still waiting for this downtrend to be broken, and look like you wanted to do it a couple times here. But not bad. Let's see, volume today in the last hours, it's been coming in. It's okay. It's definitely above the most recent average. So not bad at all. Let's see here. How high did this one go in the last hour? 16%, up 19% at the peak earlier. Look at that dip, guys. See how it just kind of like dips down from the high, lets that 10 EMA catch up a little bit on the hourly. Looks like it's rallying up again. PIVX, not bad. PIVX has come a long ways here recently. I mean, what's PIVX at these days? Market cap wise. PIVX, we're at number 30. $189 million market cap, $3.43. Man, oh man. So you guys know I had bought PIVX a while ago, and then I sold it because it was making me mad. Anybody want to guess what I sold PIVX at? I had some PIVX. I bought it at around 95 cents. Any guesses? PIVX. I sold PIVX at $1.63. $3.15. I wish. 50 cents. Almost. PIVX. But there you go. All right, let's see. Let me go down the list here. What else are we looking at here? We talked the Monero. We talked Bitcoin, Ethereum. No, we didn't talk Ripple. I know some of you guys are holding Ripple. But I'm not complaining. I sold PIVX at $1.63 because I bought something else. Bought me some Neo. You guys never complain about a profit. Especially when it 10x's after you sell it. Just kidding. I haven't seen any of those yet. And if you do sell it and it starts going up, then heck, don't be afraid to buy back in. Unless there's something else you like better. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at Ripple, Bitcoin on the Polo, USD. No, this is not USD. This is just Bitcoin. Pulling in a little bit. Man, look at that selling, though. Most of the other ones aren't doing this kind of a big reversal after that pop. A lot of sell volume coming in here on Ripple. I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of Ripple holders right now because they had a little bit of a rally and kind of just faded out. And I think you're going to see a lot of overhead resistance on Ripple. My personal opinion, I think we're going to see Ripple have a struggle until it can get back above this resistance here at this 4,000, 5,000 Satoshi range. It's going to be tough on Ripple, in my opinion. But bouncing right in, it was way oversold though. It needed a rally. It just seems to be selling off right now. I was looking on USD, 19-cent Ripple. Man, Ripple. I think it's good for a bounce play. We can get another few percent out of this, but it's going to face a lot of overhead resistance. I had that whole Swell conference and all that, and nothing really came of that. Everybody was expecting a big announcement and just sold off. If you're holding Ripple, I don't know. It's not looking bullish. Let me just say that. It's not looking bullish right now. I think there are better choices than Ripple. Let me go down the list here. We talked 8X. We talked Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing again. Come on, Bitcoin. Is it going to bounce? It's not bouncing. It's just holding. The alts are in full force. Civic, we talked Civic. Did we talk Dash? We talked Dash. I'm not going Dash, but we'll see. EOS, Decred. Man, Decred. It's a nice little double bottom. Let's see here. How far up are we off the lows on Decred? 20%. Not bad. Another one that was really down and out here recently, but look at that. That's a nice green candle off the lows. Let's see if it sticks. It needs to stay above that 10 EMA. Maybe pop down a little bit here, but this one's a good project too. You know, they're doing all the atomic swaps and all that, and just a good one. One to watch, I think. I've tried to trade it. Just was not. Look at that. I mean, the last since October was just a really bad downtrend. Looks like it's finally starting to break that. I'm a little suspect until it really confirms, though, just because it's really been sold off lately. But not bad. Short term, looking really good. Ethereum Classic, man, that one ever coming back, guys? Is Ethereum Classic done? What's going on here? I know there was a lot of Ethereum Classic believers, and I get it from the philosophical perspective and the purity of the original Ethereum blockchain. I totally understand that, but is it ever coming back? Is it? Have we seen the peak of Ethereum Classic? It's just really been a laggard lately. It's due. I mean, it's I don't know. I've seen a lot of volume here recently. I'm wondering if it's the final sellers giving up. Ethereum Classic, I don't know. Ethereum had a nice little rally today. Let's see, continue. Game. Is it giving it up? Man, that one's reversing. Yeah, I know there was some news on this one here, but yeah, small cap. What's Game at these days? Let's see here. Game credits. Rank 45, $137 billion. It's coming a long ways here. Oh, yeah, let's see here. Let's keep going. IOTA. What's going on with IOTA, guys? Is IOTA ever come back? They had volume today. Not bad. Not bad at all. Starting to turn the corner here. Seen some good support bars coming in. Very volatile. IOTA. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Man, I was looking at this base here, just been in the downtrend. Can't complain about that volume off the low here right now, though. Looking good. Oh, man, let me plug in here. Looks like the battery's about to go. So, let me look at IOTA. 40 cents on the USD. The daily chart here. You know, it's going to need to really convince me. It's got to break that downtrend first. I mean, that's the big thing, right? It's tried a few times here, but it really needs to break that downtrend. It's not done yet, but I will say, IOTA is putting in these big support bars here at the lows. Keeps trying to go down to, you know, and then like buyers are starting to step in here sub 40 cents. So could be a good sign that it's finally hitting a low. But we did see that back here, and it did rally for a little bit, but just was not sustained. Let me see, go back to IOTA BTC. A little bit of a selling bar here, support bar here a couple days ago. Nice little rally today. Maybe putting in the low here. Not bad. Not bad. Lisk. We talked to Lisk already. Litecoin. See how these are pulling in here, though? That's not bad. Not bad. Litecoin. Come on, Litecoin. I need you to rally here. Good volume off the low today, though. Metal. Somebody was asking about metal. See, this is nice. Look at that. Not bad. Nice little tight action here last couple of days, and then just a big pop to the upside. See where resistance is on metal here. Let me zoom out first to the 4-hour chart on this one. Again, another name that's just really been smacked since September. Straight down. Maybe it's found a low here. A lot of volume. Very volatile. Metal is bouncing in. Pretty much hit that resistance points. Kind of pausing right now. Definitely want to see metal kind of clear this. You know, if it can get above this, you know, this little area around 14, you know, 145, maybe 150, that's going to really confirm the trend reversal if we can see that happen here. It looks like it's trying. Definitely looking stronger than it has been in the last couple weeks. But nice tight action over the last couple of days. Popping to the upside. I know this is a lower volume name too, though. What's metal trade at? Yeah, $2 million daily volume, 146 million market cap, but up nicely today, no doubt. Not bad at all. Huh? What's this rally at here? It's not bad. 18% at the peak. We're up about 12% right now. Can't complain about that one. Here's another one I was watching, small cap name. Let me see what it's doing these days. I'll admit I got a little tiny bit of it, but definitely not a core holding. Nebulous. Still looking good. Only trades on Cryptopia. Anybody know anything about Cryptopia? That's like the crap coin central. But hey, you know, once in a blue moon, you get some good ones. You can't complain about that chart. So looking pretty good. I don't use Cryptopia much, but every now and then I'll throw some small change their way, pick up some of these small coins. But yeah, interesting one I've been watching here. See what else we got here. Oh, Bitcoin Gold, everybody. Post fork. If you're just joining us, we are just talking charts. We've got a Bitcoin newbie here with the node investor. And I'm asking him about Bitcoin. He's asking me about what the heck is a wallet. And I just thought, you know, it'd be good to have him on the show today because the Bitcoin industry is really going through a change right now. You know, we're coming more mainstream in a lot of ways. Bitcoin 5,000, Bitcoin 6,000, potentially Bitcoin ETF. You know, I think over the next couple months, we're going to see this shift of it becoming a little bit more mainstream, a little bit more public. But it's still interesting though, because, you know, you're kind of in the technical field and you're like, nobody at work's talking about Bitcoin and you know, nobody's.
Well, let's put it this way. Nobody's talking about it intelligently. Like that buzzword Bitcoin is starting to become a buzzword, but nobody really knows what it is. I mean, really.
The technicals behind it.
The technicals behind it, like what it really stands, what it really is, how you get one, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wallet. Nobody understands it. I mean, I'm not gonna say nobody, obviously.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of people listening right now. But like even in the tech field, I'm in the telemedicine field and tech field, and it's not really a lot of knowledge, you know, in that sector, if you will.
Yeah, no, I mean that's interesting because I remember you asked me even just a few months ago, right, when I started mentioning it to you, you're like, what gives Bitcoin its value, you know? And
well, that was my concern.
And that's the thing, right? What's backing Bitcoin? And I like to say that's the wrong question to ask in a lot of ways, right? Because when we think about traditional currencies or traditional investments, you know, it's always like, what's backing the US dollar? And it's like they print that thing infinitum, right? There's nothing backing the dollar. They used to say it was gold and it's nothing. But basically the only thing backing the dollar is the US government and the economy and all that stuff. And so that's the thing with Bitcoin is what makes it valuable is the network, right? So the decentralization, the network. And at the end of the day, what makes it valuable is what everybody agrees its value is, right? In 2009, 2010, its value was pennies. And as time went on, as the network developed and matured and improved itself, then it was worth dollars, and then it was worth hundreds of dollars, and now it's worth $6,000 because that's what everybody's willing to pay for a Bitcoin. And so it's growing and it's developing, and as more use cases come online, more wallets, you know, as more merchants start to accept it, the network effect is going to create the value, and that's what's backing it, right? There's nothing really backing it per se from a government perspective, and that's the whole point. That's the purpose, is the decentralization of it makes it that much better, right? It's like, we don't want it to be backed by any government, right? We don't want it to be backed by the US or by China or by Russia. We don't want them to crack down on it completely 100% either. And we saw that a month ago when China started to regulate, and we're going to block Bitcoin, and we're going to block ICOs, and we're going to ban this and ban that. And the market took a temporary hit, but it's just funny how, like, every time a country bans it, the market takes a hit, and then it just goes higher. Then Russia comes out and, you know, their own cryptocurrency, and we're going to ban Bitcoin. Took a little hit, and it's higher now. It's like it's just decentralized, and that's what makes it so much more valuable than your traditional currency. right? Because now it's like I can communicate, and I do, with people all over the world, and we can just send Bitcoin or cryptocurrency instantaneously almost, right? And I don't need to sign off on some bank, and I don't need some stupid wire transfer form filled out and all that, you know. So,
well, that's what makes it interesting for sure.
So let's see here. I'm going to catch up on some of these comments. We've got some folks joining us here. Brooke is in the house. What's up, Brooke? We've got, let's see here. Man, a lot of folks joining us tonight. That Bitcoin gold fork was interesting. Pretty uneventful, in my opinion, which is good. Vertcoin. Everybody was on Vert the last couple days. And I made a little trade on Vert, but I wasn't holding it that long. Let's see what Vert's doing these days. I think half the viewers are on Vertcoin right now. All right, maybe not half. 49%. See what we got here. So I had a nice pullback after a nice rally, though. I got to say, Vert had a nice rally. So see my line way down here. That was a little bull flag that I was watching on Vert, and I think I mentioned in the last video. And sure enough, it broke out. We had that nice little rally to the upside, but definitely got a little ahead of ourselves here the last couple of days. Peak volume, guys. So keep an eye on here. So when you're looking at a coin and you're holding it and you're thinking about where do I take profits, where do I sell it, at least in the intermediate term, this thing can keep going higher after another pullback in a base. I get that. But in the intermediate term, when you're on a trade, and there's a couple of ways to take profits. You can look at, you know, declines of, you know, below a certain moving average or below a certain support point. You could look at big volume reversals. You know, you can sell into strength. You can take profit after some X percent. You can say, hey, when this thing rallies 10%, 15%, I'm taking profit or whatever. Or you can do technical measured moves. Okay, this is the bull flag, and if it breaks out, it's going to go to this point. There's a lot of ways to do it, but one way to do it is selling into strength when you see the climactic action at the top. And that's typically signified by big volume after a big move up, right? So you've already, you know, you have this big move. And at this point, after that little breakout, and it did pull back and give you another entry here, but at that point, it went up 171% in about 4 or 5 days. Pretty significant move. And look at the very top. Look at these top 3 bars, guys. Top 4 bars. Look at how big that volume is, right? After the move up at the very top, tons of volume starts coming in, and it's just changing hands super fast. That's a lot of sellers, a lot of people that got in early on are taking profits. And usually that's the exhaustion volume at the top. That's the last buyers getting in, seeing the big run up, wanting to catch this train before it leaves the station. And that tends to be where we take a pause at least. So then you see the little pullback. Now the pullback wasn't catastrophic. I mean, it's a normal reaction to a move that's 167%, but it's still, from the very top, we went down 46%, and a good pullback. So now we're basing out, but the good thing is we're seeing some good buy volume on BTC here. So the green has definitely been high, good volume, buy volume on this side. Let's go to the daily. But you know, looking at the chart here, longer term, the daily chart is still very strong. I mean, it's just a normal pullback from a very extended position. Look how high above the 10 EMA we were up here. So it just needed a pullback. Needed to pause. So very normal. If you're holding Vert, I mean, there's no sell signal here other than, you know, that was a little bit of a climactic move short term and it needed to pause. The broader chart is still looking very strong. You know, had a big breakout here. Typically, we tend to see this keep running. So if you're not in it now and everybody's in it and everybody wants to be in it, I mean, it's a little overbought in my opinion. I think it needs to pause a little bit more. Higher risk here for sure, but, you know, RSI is back down to 73. If it hits new highs, though, you know, RSI can get pretty high before it's really oversold. Zooming out, though, I mean, it tends to have these big spikes and then kind of pulls in. So I would be a little cautious here about making a new position and divert. It might be good for a trade, in my opinion, especially if it goes and retests this old high. I mean, even from this point, a retest of the high, 20%. Let's do a Fibonacci on this. How far could it bounce? Maybe it already hit the signals. So if you do a Fibonacci on the retracement here down to the lows, you can see that first reaction went all the way up to the 0.618. So maybe we've already seen it. Maybe we see another second test of that and then a pullback. It could go as high as the 786 on a bounce here. That's going to put you around 71, 72,000 Satoshi. And then maybe see the pullback there or a pause. But, you know, that little pullback did a lot to help the overboughtness on the short term. So that's good. I think on the daily it needs a little bit more. But let's see, 4-hour charts. RSI is not bad on the 4-hour. So not bad. Can't complain on this one. If you're holding, I'd keep holding it at this point. All right, let's see here. What else have we got on the chats? Salt. I keep talking Salt. I will check out Salt. It might be too short of a chart, though. I don't know if there's enough history on it. We'll look at the very near term on Salt. Neo. We talked Neo, but I will talk Neo again. What else we got? Let me say go. Chainlink. Best crypto to start with. Oh, that's a good question. So you got a lot of folks coming into this space. You're kind of like, okay, how do I get started? What do I do? Where do I buy? Do I just buy Bitcoin or do I buy something else? In my opinion, the best crypto to get started with, if you have zero cryptos, you're just brand new to the space, you got to get some Bitcoin. You just have to. Bitcoin is like the king of cryptocurrencies. Now you got to know too that the altcoins are going to give you a higher beta. So they're going to be a higher percent return if they rally than Bitcoin because Bitcoin market caps are just so big. But they're also going to give you a higher percent on the downside if they correct. Right? So it kind of goes both ways.
But if the Bitcoin's like $5,000, how do you buy a Bitcoin? If you don't want to spend $5,000.
If you don't want to spend $5,000. So the nice thing about Bitcoin is it's divisible to 8 digits, right? So you hear me talking about Satoshi levels and all this right here. So here at the right on the price bar, you can see it's like 0.005000, right? That's, you know, how far you can divide Bitcoin. So you can do that on the dollar too. So you don't have to go buy one Bitcoin. And most cryptocurrencies, that's the nice thing about these, is they're divisible down to small numbers. So you can buy the equivalent of any amount, basically. So if you just want to start with $100 worth of Bitcoin, you can go buy $100 of Bitcoin, right? I sell my courses, people will send me Bitcoin. And so you can just send me $40 worth of Bitcoin, right? So there's no like minimum amounts. And so I mentioned Coinbase is an easy way to get started, right? You can set up an account, you can buy Bitcoin from them on a little bit of a limited basis, but you could just put your debit card and then buy some Bitcoin or wire transfer from a bank, and there's no minimum, right? You can buy $25 if you want, if you just want to try it out. So if anybody's getting started, that's what I would recommend is get some Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is also the on-ramp to everything you're seeing on this list, right? You can trade these altcoins, and some of these you could buy with, you know, if you're on an exchange, you could buy with fiat currency. You can buy with dollars, euros, yen, whatever. But most of the altcoins, you got to have some Bitcoin. And so that's the way to do it. Plus, that's a nice, it can, you know, compared to traditional investments, it moves fast. But compared to cryptos, Bitcoin doesn't move as fast, right? A big move in Bitcoin is a 5, 8, 10% day. But typically, it's not that much. And so it's gonna be a little bit more stable than some of the other names, but stable is a relative term, right? Crypto is anything but stable. It's very volatile, so you got to be willing to kind of take those dips and rides. And like I said, it's both ways, though. All right, good question. So other than Bitcoin, okay, so if you're new to the crypto, you buy Bitcoin first, I think, and then you buy some of the other bigger names. And, you know, I've been talking about this for a while. I'm going to do a video on setting up a cryptocurrency portfolio because I think there's a way to approach it. And I'm going to summarize here real quick. But what I would do is I would buy some Bitcoin, and I would maybe break up my portfolio like in thirds or quarters if you want. So the big chunk is going to be something big, right? Bitcoin, and then maybe some Ethereum or Litecoin or something, right? Some of these bigger names been around a little bit longer. And then I would start to diversify into some specific areas. So maybe I'd buy like a privacy-centric coin, something like a Dash or a Monero. Put a percentage of that into the portfolio. And then I'd buy some platform coins that are going to be the platforms for smart contracts and digitizations of assets and blockchain and all that. That'd be like a Neo, maybe a NEM, Quantum, maybe an ARC, right? Something like that. And then the very small percent of my portfolio would be in some of these smaller names, a little more speculative. Maybe could double, triple, quadruple from here. Maybe could go down 50%, right? And that'd be something a little bit more specific. Maybe a 10x, maybe one of the gaming type of coins, the lending ones, right? So maybe a Salt or something newer that you believe in technology, but it's just a smaller cap name. I wouldn't put a big chunk of my portfolio in those. That's me personal, right? That's more for the longer term. And there's just a lot to choose from, right? So you got to start doing the research and look at the teams and all that. But if you're just getting started, I mean, just sticking to the top 15, 20 names, there's plenty to choose from. But if you're trading, then you want to look at a lot. You're going to look at a whole lot of these other names. All right, so what else have we got here? Ladies and gentlemen, we are live post Bitcoin Gold fork. Soon, everyone's going to have their Bitcoin Gold, and we're going to dump it. Give me my money. Maybe. Who's holding their Bitcoin Gold? Come on. We want to know who's holding the Bitcoin Gold. You know, I just might, honestly. Bitcoin Cash, I dumped the heck out of it as soon as I got it. Bittrex is selling it for, that was trading high. Bitcoin Gold is kind of like, it's there, it's not there, whatever. Check out Stratus now. Let's see. What's going on in the markets? Everything's selling off. Are we pulling back? Are we panicking? Stratus. Oh, break it out, guys. What did I tell you about that double bottom? Here we go. 82,500. I'm going to say 81 and change if you're trading it. Take some profit. If you're trading it, I would take just a quick trade there. Stratus, not bad. A little bit overbought here. Well, let me see, 69. That's not too bad. That's on the 4-hour chart. What's the 1-hour chart looking like? Breaking out of range here a little bit. Not bad. Not too bad. All right. What else have we got going on here? Let's see. So we talked Vert. Stellar Lumens. Anybody else still on the Stellar rocket train here? Stellar, man, what a pullback. What a rally. What a pullback. Looks like it wants to finally start going up again. Let me zoom out a little bit on this one. Man, this has been all over the place here. Stellar Lumens. Yeah, I don't know. I think from a percentage basis, it could really go a lot higher. It's just a tough one to play, though. I mean, even to the old highs, 25%. If it breaks above that, though, that's a major resistance point. If it breaks above that 900 Satoshi level, you can see a nice little rally on Stellar. Small name, though. It's really moved up the ranks here quickly with that run. Waves. Let's see what Waves is doing. Waves platform. Not a whole lot here. Let's see on the 1-hour chart. Oh. Waves. It's up about 16%. Had a nice little pop. What didn't have a nice little pop, though, right? Everything's having a good day. Everything's having a good 3 hours. And that's the thing with crypto you'll learn here is like when I was trading stocks, man, I would look at weekly charts, right? What's the base on the weekly charts? Good grief. Cryptos, we're talking 15-minute, 30-minute charts when you're trading in hour charts. And most of the time, you're just looking at 4-hour and 1-day charts because it's just 2 weeks and a month in crypto world is a long time, especially for a market that just trades 24/7. A lot can happen. 2 weeks. ARC. Yeah. Let me see what else we're talking about here. So we're talking Salt. Okay. I keep forgetting, guys. I start rambling and it's over. It's all over. The other night, I did a 2-hour live stream and it felt like 30 minutes. I need somebody to cut me off. Somebody's got to say, all right, node investor. Just call it a night.
I knew I shouldn't have given him that espresso.
Time for a commercial break. So this is Salt on the Bittrex here, 1 hour chart. Just trying to rally here. I mean, it was having a nice couple of days here, but kind of pulling in a little bit. And it's interesting to see that when the whole market was down, some of these names that were rallying kind of down today a little bit. Off the lows here in the last 3 or 4 hours, we're up about 13%. Not too bad, but just it's below where it was just a couple of days ago because it was rallying earlier. Some of the other names are coming off the lows and going higher. So personally, I'd rather be in some of those. What's Salt's market cap though? That's come down quite a bit here. $148. Still up there, not too bad. What's going on in the Twitter sphere, everybody? Oh yeah. Love you guys. Yeah, someone's in Nashville right now. I might have to tweet out where I'm going to be tomorrow. Meet and greet with some of you folks. The Node Investor. I'm just going to show up. No one's going to know I'm there. No one's going to know the Node Investor's there. Oh, Siacoin. I don't know, guys. I think Siacoin's done. Let's see here. Siacoin. The charts in Siacoin has been flat, dead. Let me go over here. Where are we at, Sia? Is it Sia? Is it Sia? Does anybody care? See ya. You know what I did? I deleted it. That's the problem. So you don't even track it anymore. No offense to you Siacoin fans. See where we at. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. Is it still trading on the Trex, Polo? Why is the chart flat? Yeah. Don't know what to tell you. I'm not holding it. I'm not buying it. And the project was great, but I just don't have any interest in it right now. It's just a lot of competition when you think about, the decentralized cloud storage. There's some competition for that, and some of these platform tokens are going to be doing that too. And SIA was very specific to that, so it's going to be tough for them to compete, I think. All right. So we've been going here for, what are we on? Hour and a half now. I can't break my old record, guys. There's no way I'm going 2 hours. Can't go over 2 hours. Although YouTube says I can go for 8 hours, so maybe we'll just go 8 hours.
Marathon.
We're just going to go until the next fork. All right, let's see. Do a couple more of these. We'll call it a night. Monaco pulling in a little bit here. Genosis. Nothing happening. Metaverse. You guys were talking about Metaverse here. Remember I mentioned it was a little extended. Be careful. It could probably break out, but I'd be leery. What happened? It broke out. Had a little run, but pulling a little bit. Putting a little base here though. I'm liking it. I think it's a good lower cap name. What's that now? 113. Trades $15 million. Good volume. I'd be watching it, guys. I'd be watching it. Stratus, we talked Stratus. Zcash. I was wearing my Zcash shirt yesterday. Nexus. Sorry, we'll look at Nexus. Man, Zcash. What's going on here? It's the 4-hour chart. Zcash still correcting. Near term, though, some good volume coming in here. Not bad. Where are we at here? Popped about 9%. We're still up about 4 or 5% off the lows. Compared to some of these other names. Let's keep going, Ben. We want to stop Ben on the liquid. Let's see how much time we got on this. Not bad, not bad. Zoom in a little bit here. Clearly a low volume name. You can tell just by looking at the charts. Trying to edge out of here. Looks like it put in a good low though. I don't know anything about this project or anything about the coin, so I can't comment on Ven, but trying to put in the bottom here. BQX. Bitcoin Cash. I'll look at Bitcoin Cash here. Where's BQX trade? Here it is. On the Binance. Nice. Not bad on the 4-hour chart. Looking good. Having a nice little pop. Trying to break above resistance here. Zoom in on the 1 hour. Lower volume name probably, right? $2 million, $64 million market cap. But it's up about 30% on the Bitcoin. Not bad if you're on it. Not bad at all. Let's look at Steam. So I'm going to get more active on Steam it, just so you guys know, to reach the broader community. It's just hard to keep up with all of these social platforms. Steam, trying to make a move here. You know, I'm always so suspect of the Steam moves. Every time I'm like, hey, look at Steam. And it just fades. But, oh, I'll admit, okay, look, so the last couple fades have been like 1 hour bars, but this one, 3 bars in a row. 3 hours in a row, Steam's been rocking it. So, hey, maybe that is the low here. The volume's definitely looking good, though, on the bottom here. Let me move this off chart. You can see the volume bar. Look how big that is. Way above average. So, not bad. For all you longtime Steam hodlers, maybe, just maybe, the pain is over. All right, let's see what else we got here. Gonna have to do a few more here and wrap it up. Mike, we still got Mike on the mic. Any other questions? Any other thoughts about getting started with Bitcoin, getting started with altcoins?
Well,
don't ask me any technical questions because it'll take forever to answer.
I need to know who developed the term hodl.
Hodl, 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 hodl.
No, actually, this is I have experienced my first fork party.
Yeah, fork party.
Fork party. And espresso fork party's going on.
Oh, man. Get the music going here.
And now I know.
It's getting wild.
Now I know.
Everyone's making money today.
My methodical mind says what I've learned is I need to buy Bitcoin first.
Gotta buy some Bitcoin.
Well, actually, get my wallet.
Hashtag fork party.
Which I got. Now I'm going to get some Bitcoin.
Uh-oh, we got FOMO Mike on the mic.
Which I'll get. And then I got to diversify my portfolio.
Yep.
And trade off my Bitcoin into those other altcoins. See, I'm sounding like a Bitcoin guy now.
The node investor has rubbed off on the FOMO mic. Now we're gonna have to teach him about the advanced hodl technology.
Now I'm gonna have to learn how to hodl. As long as I don't pump it up.
Exodus wallet. You know what? I'm gonna send you your first Bitcoin. Just because I saw you download the Exodus wallet, I'm gonna scan your address. I'm gonna do this live while we're on the mic. So everybody can hear you cheer and go, oh my God, I got Bitcoin.
That's what I'm talking about, see?
Everybody. Mike is going to have Bitcoin, his first Bitcoin. Open your wallet. Let's see what you got here. So you can open your wallet. See where it says wallet right there?
Wallet.
Then you go receive. And that little thing right there, that's your address. And I'm going to scan that with my phone here. Bam. And I'm going to say, send you some Bitcoin. Hit send. Let's see. Put the volume up. Everybody's got to hear it come through.
Oh, hold on. Here we go.
Let's see here. You guys will hear it come through. Sounds nice when it comes through on Exodus. Oh, there it is.
Bitcoin.
There it is. All right, everybody. Let's welcome FOMO Mike to the cryptocurrency universe.
Oh,
He doesn't even know what FOMO means.
I am in. I'm about to huddle that coin.
Your life will never be the same, my friend. All right, so there you go, guys. We got somebody else coming in. Ka-ching! So let's see what else we got here. 8X, we'll look at another couple charts here, and then we'll call it a night. This fork party, we're going to have more of these. EOS, Decred, Ethereum Classic. What's Bitcoin doing? Has it popped yet? I keep telling you guys it's going to pop here. Come on. It's just sitting tight. Oh, no. 10 EMA is dropping. That means the altcoins are going to rally, everybody. Jamie Dimon, you better start buying. Don't miss out. You know everybody he's been buying. Everybody knows he's been buying. All right, so what else have we got here? Neo. We already looked at Neo. I guess we can look at Neo again. We looked at Zen. All right. I think we're going to have to call it good. All right, so just to summarize, here's my thoughts. These are not recommendations. These are not. How does the commercial go? This is not a recommendation to buy or sell any security, anything you hear, blah, 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 blah. It may not be construed as financial advice. Please know that investing contains risk and past performance is not indicative of future results.
That was pretty good.
You know, I've heard that like a million times. Anyway, here's what I'm thinking, guys. I'm liking Neo. I'm liking Ethereum. What's Ethereum at right now? Ethereum's looking good. I'm liking Ethereum. Litecoin, you know, I'm not sure if it's at the top of my list. It's looking all right. Did I mention Neo? I'm liking Neo. Omise Go. I'm liking Omise Go. Quantum's putting a little bit of a flag here, maybe. It's got to convince me. We'll see how it looks in a few hours. 10X, I think it's good for a rally. Stratus, breaking out of a double bottom. I think it's good for a little trade. What else? There was a couple more that are on my list here. Verge really had a nice move out. Misiko, Neo. I think that's it. Decred's having a nice move off the low. Oh, yeah. ARC. Like an ARC here. I think it looks good. 8X. Got to keep an eye on this one. Wait for a pullback. But, man, what a move it had off the lows. Got to keep an eye on this one. Hey, we did look at basic attention today. Yeah. It's definitely strong off the lows here. Man, that's overbought, though. Be careful there. This one, though, man, just really broke down here recently. I want to like this one, but yeesh. Glad I wasn't holding that. So there you go, guys. Right now, you know, there's a lot of good ones. The smaller names are definitely moving up, but this rally is young, my friends. We've got some more to go. Let's be patient. Let's wait for the basis to move out and all that fun stuff and really confirm. But from an altcoin perspective, some of those big names, leading names that I just mentioned, Ethereum, Litecoin, Omisego, Neo, maybe Quantum, hey, maybe Stratus off the lows, ARC. That's what I'm looking at right now, and that's what I'm buying. And some of these other names will begin to present themselves and look stronger in the coming days, I'm hoping. But for now, choose wisely. And that's going to be it. Let me go to the chat box, see how much we got here. Would I buy ARC now? Stellar Lumens. Some of you guys like the Stellar. That's cool. Stellar is looking strong. Can't complain. Would I buy ARC now?
Exodus blockchain assets are now password protected.
Oh, there you go. See, man, you're getting sophisticated over here. If I was buying this for a longer term hold, I would. I think it's good here. It's busting above that 10 EMA. The downtrend looks like it's finally confirming that it's breaking the downtrend. But you know me, guys. You know me. The whole long hodl all the way down. You know I don't. So if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you buy it, it's nothing wrong with taking a chance here. Just know that if everything just cracks tomorrow and everything decides to go kapoof to the downside, just get out of the way. It's okay. So what I buy ARK here is not bad here. Near term though, everything is done this near term. So there's risk in near term. So if you do buy it here, it could pull back. It could become some pullback down to the support now. Just expect that. But looking strong. What coins haven't recovered yet? There's still a lot. Everything's popping, but look at everything right now from a relative perspective. All right, so what's the leaders doing? 19%, 30%, 20%, okay? If your coin's doing 5%, 4%, 3%, it's lagging. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't mean it won't turn around in the next day or two, but right now, let's keep that in mind. How do I get in the next round of private mentees? If you bought the course, you will be invited. If you haven't, shoot me a DM on Twitter. Send me your email address. All right. I don't trade all day. That's the thing, guys. I don't trade all day. Trading is a lot of work. And anybody that's been in the group knows that. It is a ton of work. So what I would recommend, if you're looking at trading or thinking about getting into trading, and I know some of you guys want to do that full time, and that's cool. But what I would recommend, highly recommend, take a very small percentage of portfolio and learn to trade. Because trading is not as easy as it sounds. And the technical aspect, reading the charts, learning the target zones and profit zones, after a while, that's the easy part. The hard part is just the mental side of things, the psychology, keeping up with the markets, and cryptos are just very intense 24/7. So what I would do is if you're going to do that and you want to do that, take a small percent of your portfolio, smaller than you think is small. So if you want to trade 30% of your portfolio because you want to get started in this, start with 10 and learn to trade it. It's not until you start to get a little more consistent with the trades and minimizing the risk and the stop losses and all that fun stuff. At that point, then do you start increasing, because you're going to make all the newbie mistakes and you're going to put too much into one trade and you're going to lose a lot on that percentage, and just all the stuff that everybody has to learn the hard way. So that's cool with trading, and I do trading from time to time, but trading every day, there's just, the market's just not there to do it every day. Sometimes it's best to just pause, sit out, let things play out because the trades aren't working. And other times it's very active and it's like trading a lot. So it just depends on the market. But that's my recommendation. Learn slowly, preserve your capital, and be patient, because it's not as easy as it sounds. It is, but it isn't. It's easy to get started. It's easy to learn the patterns, the disciplines, the money management, the risk management. That's the hard part. How much of my portfolio is trading right now? It varies. The last couple of weeks has been pretty small, maybe 25%. But when the market's hot and when things are like we saw in a couple months back and everything is in a raging bull, man, I'm trading a lot more percent-wise because you got to multiply that BTC. Hodl those Satoshis. All right, folks. It's been awesome having you, man. We had a great Bitcoin Gold Post Fork live party here tonight. We had Mike on the mic. He got his first Bitcoin. Welcome to the club. I see your exit as well up there. Very nice. Looking at the charts. It's great to see these altcoins coming back, guys. Man, the altcoins have been in a bear markets for the last, seems forever. And we'll see how long this little rally lasts. I think we're going to see some more next fork drama in a couple of weeks. But between now and then, we can maybe see some good rallies off the lows in some of these alts. But remember, guys, if you're trading, if you're holding these, take some profits every now and then. There's no point in writing a coin up 30, 40, 50, 60% only to write it all the way back down. So you got to take some profits, get some Bitcoin back into your wallet. That's going to be it. Till next time, everybody.
See you at the next fork party. I will be a sophomore.
Yeah. Take care.